So, as Adina has indicated, my name is Andrea McGee. I am the Assistant Dean of all Registrarial and Student Services here at the Faculty of Information. Adina, if I can ask you to move slides for me, please. So, the Office of the Registrar and Student Services is here for all of you. And I hope that out of all of the information you will receive today, you will remember just one thing that we are here to assist you no matter what questions you have. Our office is here for you and are always available to assist you no matter your questions or situation. We are your first stop. So as you can see here, we are responsible for many various things, the nuts and bolts of your program, all the boring stuff, whether it is your degree requirements or how you pay your fees, getting your fobs, understanding the building, where your classrooms are located, registration, but also to many more maybe nuanced and complicated situations, challenging or otherwise, whether they are academic, personal, or financial. There's a team of support individuals available to you. And as your home faculty and your home base, we here currently on the fourth floor of the Bissell building are available to support you. Next slide, please. So as we said, many of us are actually here today, and you can see us on the side. We, as I said, offer much of this general support, quick questions, emails, etc., that come to our front desk, where Min and Is online today will be able to answer. Is the one in the background right now who will be answering many of the Q&As that come up. Whether you come in person or email us at inquire.ischool@utoronto.ca. For more complicated or longer conversations, our advisors like Christine, whom you will meet shortly, Adina and Steve are all available to meet with you one-on-one during the academic year, including myself at times. And during the summer, we'll of course be hosting these drop-in sessions, both for individual and groups, so that we can answer any lingering questions that you may have concerning your program and course enrollment. Bottom line though, life happens. So if we can switch slides, please. So life happens and it can affect your academic progress. And so we do not want you to wait. Nothing is too small or irrelevant. The sooner you come to us, the sooner we can help. So in addition to advising and support that we provide from the academic, personal, financial side of things, we are also fortunate to have our own in-house learning hub. Here we have a team of writing and tech tutors that may assist you in your specific courses, any thesis statements, some of the research. In fact, connected to Robarts Library, there's also a librarian research assistant that you will be able to tap into. And additionally, we run iSkills programming that may supplement some of the work and interests that you may have. So we often do a disaster book workshop or skills around R or Python, things that can supplement the courses that you are in and just need a little bit of extra help or knowledge. And these are usually a couple of hours in length and are workshop based. In addition to the advising and support that we have here within the Faculty of Information, as a U of T student, you have access to all things that the campus has to offer. Here are just a few that we have highlighted for you. The links, as we said, when we share the PowerPoint and the recording, you'll be able to find them easily and link on them yourself. But if you are, for example, a student who's had an EAP or an accommodation in the past, or you believe that you could benefit from supports due to your learning or health challenges, please reach out now. The registration deadline for accessibility services is July 14th. There's a very simplified process online that you will be able to see. And if you register by July 14th, you will be guaranteed the support for September. Registering late will just mean that your setup and your ability to start strong with those supports will be delayed. Nonetheless, there are many support services, and we can help you. And we have an on-location advisor as well by the name of Rachel, you will be able to work with. So that is just from accessibility side of things. Because it has that deadline, I really want to make sure that you are all aware and do go through the registration process sooner rather than later should you need it. So now on to the big picture. So your degree requirements. These you will see online and in the SGS calendar. And we have just sort of highlighted the main big picture items here. As a student coming into the Master of Information, you're going to finish 8 credits, and 2 credits within that needs to be courses that are taken under the professional requirement umbrella. For museum studies, you are completing 7.5 credits, and you are going to do one of 2 pathways, either a capstone or a thesis. The capstone is done in your final year of study. And for those of you joining us that are in the combined degree program, you are required to take 13 credits, and you will be completing the course requirements, whether concentration and then your capstone of the museum studies program. So the details of the courses you're going to need to take in your first year are all listed on the website under the, for example, for information, the concentration that you have been admitted to. So it's really important that you pay attention to the concentration you've been admitted to and follow those requirements. And of course, in museum studies, you will clearly be able to see what you need to take in first year versus your upper year studies. For the Master of Information, there are professional requirements that are part of your degree requirement. They are not difficult to obtain. They are meant to provide you with some breadth and depth within the degree that you are doing. And so you will find that some of them are found within the concentration requirements that you are already taking. So 2 credits are really just 4 half credits. And so you will find a couple of them embedded within the concentration. And then, if you're in human-centered data science, we want you to take something that has a critical perspective or a policy or manager so that you're not just doing data work. So there is a balance and then of course, vice versa for someone in another program. So it is important for you to look at those, and they will be updated with additional options. So right now, what you will see on the website are the course requirements and opportunities available from last year. There will be the same, and then a few more will be a part of that list. And you will also see whether or not a course fulfills professional requirements in the course description on the website. And so as Adina goes into some of those course enrollment details, she will highlight some of those sort of tips and tricks that you will need to address.
Hi again, everyone. So I'll be talking about course enrollment. So I'm sure all of you are looking at the big yellow section of the slide, the information you've all been waiting for, which is that July 29th, Tuesday, July 29th at 6 a.m. EST. This is not a time that we decided on. It's the way that ACORN works. Enrollment opens for year 1 students. And what that means is that it's priority enrollment for courses required for your concentration. You can enroll in electives, but not those that are required for another concentration. So it'll become a little bit clearer when you look at your concentration requirements. And is going to put in the chat a link to our website for the MI program. Obviously, the MMSt, there aren't different concentrations, but for the MI, you'll be able to tell what are your required courses and then how many other electives you need. And so if a course is a required course for another concentration, but you want to take it as an elective, you'll be able to enroll a little bit later, but not on July 29th. And it almost that kind of rule protects your concentration so that students that are enrolled in that concentration can get the required courses that they need before those courses are opened up to other students. And so a really good thing to do before course enrollment. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this messaging and information from the new students newsletter and also on the newly admitted students website, all the things that you need to do leading up to course enrollment. And as a new student, we're also going to put that information in the chat, but please check our newly admitted students website. And then the next step would be review your degree and concentration requirements. The timetable, we know you're also really eager to have this information. It'll be posted mid-July, so it's not posted yet. You're not missing anything. Choose your courses both for fall and winter. And also choose some electives, but make sure that you're checking the prerequisites as well. And keep in mind that in terms of your course load, you'll be able to enroll in two full course equivalents or 4 courses. Most of our courses are half credit, and for part-time students, 1 credit per term. Oops, sorry. And so I will talk a little bit about ACORN right now. So ACORN stands for Accessible Campus Online Resource Network. So for all of you students who have who have done your undergrad at U of T, you'll know ACORN very well, for better or for worse. Students use ACORN to enroll in courses, check fees and finances. You can update your address and your contact information. Lots of information will be in here. Similar to other U of T systems like Quarkus, which you'll use for your classes, you will use your UTOR ID and password to log in to ACORN. And so that's a little bit about what it looks like. And then also, I think, is going to be putting in a chat a link on how to use ACORN with some hopefully helpful screenshots. So this is what the screen is going to look like to log in with your UTOR ID and password. And then this is what kind of the home screen of ACORN will look like. One feature that they've added, something that previous U of T students might notice, is that there's a new critical to-dos and important to-dos section. So that's a really good thing to check out first. So things like completing the census, adding your emergency contact. It will remind you to do certain things by a certain date to have full access for ACORN. So this is kind of the main page. It'll show your outstanding balance, the courses that you're enrolled in, what courses you have that day. There's lots on this main page that you'll have access to. Like I mentioned, you'll be able to view and maintain your personal information. So your address and home phone number, updating your email address, your emergency contact. And just a reminder, this is also in the newly admitted students website. Activate your mail.utoronto.ca. Lots of you registered for this session today with your Gmail account. That's okay, but it's really good to activate your U of T email. Get your UTOR ID so that any relevant information will come to your U of T email. So this is what it will look like when you go into enroll and manage, the enroll and manage section. And there will be, obviously this is what it looked like last year, but it will show, you can kind of toggle between the terms, but you'll be looking at 2025, 2026, fall and winter under the Master of Information. And then what you'll do is look for your courses. So a few really important reminders. You may be seeing, if you see courses at this point, until our timetable is posted, they may be information from the last academic year. So until it's finalized and posted on our website, do not rely at present on the information on ACORN because it may be some older information. And just because a course was offered last year at a certain time doesn't mean it's going to be offered this year at a certain time. So if you're really eager and you want to put together your schedule right now, and then you decide to log in at 5:59, the morning of registration, it may not be the same classes. So make sure once the final timetable information is posted, everything you've kind of plotted out and planned is accurate and up to date. So keep that in mind. The other really important reminder is do not use Degree Explorer. Again, some previous U of T students may have used this to kind of plot out their timetable and their degree. This will not be accurate. So for our program, so please refer to our website for any individual questions. Attend one of our drop-in hours. Just don't use the Degree Explorer. The accurate information will be on our website um, on the program pages, and also if you're in the MI, the concentration specific requirements. So when you search for a course, what will show up is the different sections of that course. So there will also be this year different course sections based on priority, which means that there will be sections where the course is required for your concentration, and then there may also be sections where the course isn't required for your concentration and it's required for another concentration. So um, to be a little clearer, it will be um, lecture 0101 might just be for people who are in HCDS, and then lecture 0201 might be for students in any other concentration. And so again, that's to make sure that students where that course is required for their concentration are able to get in. So this is something new that we've implemented. We're really trying to ensure that students who need priority in certain courses are getting that priority. But because this is something new that we've implemented, we don't know yet on ACORN if it's going to show why you aren't able to enroll in a certain course. It may be that it's that particular section you're clicking on is for has an enrollment control on it. So if you can't click on one section, try another one if it doesn't give you a reason. So if it's in the timetable, a good kind of reference is always make sure you're looking back in the timetable. Andrea, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
That's great, Adina. Thank you. I mean, ACORN you will find is a funny thing if you're new to the University of Toronto, and it actually won't give you any reasons. As sometimes it'll say just enrollment blocked. And usually what that will mean is that you have tried to enroll in a course for which you do not have priority. So again, to reiterate, all students have been in the Master of Information program have been admitted into one concentration, or you've been admitted to museum studies. And so that is what you have priority for when you start your enrollment. Those required courses are only tied to the program you're in, and you can enroll in any other electives that are open. Once enrollment opens up and what we call phase 3 later in August, all those courses that are required for a particular concentration will open up as an elective. And so where their spaces are available, you will be able to go in and change, add other courses that you wish to enroll in. The only other last thing I will say at this point is when you're enrolling in courses in July, you are enrolling for the entire academic year. So you sign up for both fall and winter at time of July. And then again, enrollment continues to remain open. So there can be adjustments, wait lists, and things like that that you can play around with.
Great, thanks, Andrea. Um, So then you'll see here that you have this enrollment cart. So for full-time students, just to reiterate, you'll be able to enroll in 4 courses or 2 FCEs per term, and that's including waitlists. So if you're on a waitlist, that will use a spot. And then for part-time students, you'll be able to enroll in 2 courses or 1 FCE. Another question that might come up, Esmeralda might reference this in the career services section. But if you are planning on doing the co-op option, you will not enroll in the co-op course. You'll be enrolled in it. So we'll do that for you, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So in terms of program and concentration and course advising drop-in sessions, I referenced a little bit earlier that you'll have opportunities to meet with our team and also your concentration coordinator and or director in a drop-in advising and information session. We're going to be providing a comprehensive list to all of you so that it'll both be on our website and also in an email about course enrollment. So if you'd like to meet and have more questions about courses, you can absolutely do that. Another good tip about looking at courses is you can also look at previous courses and syllabi. It doesn't mean that it's going to be exactly the same syllabus or exactly the same prof, but it is a good way to get an understanding of what a course covers. And there are a lot of courses that have the historical syllabi in the course description, so those are helpful as well. Um, so many of you have also asked about second concentrations for MI, and I'm so sorry to the MMSt students. We keep talking about concentrations, but I want to make sure that we cover this. So you're accepted and you've been accepted to one concentration. And with the exception of anyone who wants to switch to KMIM or SIP, so knowledge management and information management, or critical information policy studies, and we'll just put this in the chat. You are able to switch if you would like. It's not an application. It's just if you want to switch, you can. The way you let us know that is by filling out the MS form that has already been emailed to you. I believe Iz will be putting that form in the chat just in case there are any other folks that still wanted to switch into KMIM or SIPs. But aside from that, there aren't any other changes that are able to be made. Some students have asked about a second concentration. And the way that works is that if at the end of your degree, you have completed the required courses for another concentration, we will be able to add to your transcript that you completed the other concentration. And the way that you will kind of request this is through something that's called the intent to convocate form, which is going to be before your graduation. So it's not that you can be in more than one concentration, but by the end of your degree, if you have completed the required courses for another concentration, we can add that to your transcript. So those are, I'm sure we'll have some questions in the Q&A about that and also in drop-in advising sessions. So let us know what questions you have about that, but that's just a piece around the concentrations. And just a reminder, the deadline for the KMIM or SIPS concentration switch is July 2nd using the MS form.
So before we move on, I'm just going to reiterate one piece that I'm seeing a lot of questions being asked. So during priority enrollment, you may only enroll in 2 credits. So that's basically 4 half courses a term. We will not be adding your co-op course or for those UXD students, your portfolio until the end of August, beginning of September, so that you have capacity to make the choices of 2 credits in the first round of enrollment. Once we hit phase 3 and it's open enrollment, priority is lifted, you will be able to add 2.5 credits, which will give you more flexibility if you're trying to get into something or think you might want to switch between courses. You'll have that opportunity at that time. Off to you, Christine.
Hello, thank you. I'm Christine. I'm an advisor and program administrator here. So I'm going to be talking a bit more about registering. So I think the slides might have moved a bit quickly. If we can go to number 24. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so just to explain a bit about U of T terminology, enrollment, which course enrollment, which Adina talked about, is different than registering. So sometimes, often people will use enrolling and registering interchangeably, but at U of T, registration is when you pay or defer your fees. It's more tied to tuition. Enrollment, you're allowed to do that now when we open courses with what's called an invite status. So everybody should be seeing what's called an invite invited to register status in ACORN. That's great if you do. If you do not, let us know. And so we've already been through the course enrollment details. For registration, paying fees or deferring fees if you're taking out student loans, I'll go over those options. So by August 22nd, people will need to pay what's called the minimum payment to register. Those are basically fall term fees. So if you log into ACORN and check the bottom of your invoice, there should be what's called the minimum payment to be registered amount at the very bottom. You might want to take a screenshot of this amount, or remember that it's basically half of the year's tuition and fees, because anytime you make a payment, this notation will disappear. But if everyone just remembers half the tuition, that's great. After September 12th, students who haven't registered yet will have to pay a late registration fee, and the system will remove courses. So to avoid that, please register by August 22nd, if at all possible. So how to make a tuition payment? The student accounts website, U of T's main student accounts website, has information about the options of paying tuition. That can be from a Canadian bank, online credit card, although be aware of any fees, or like OSAP if you're doing that. If you're taking out OSAP or any other out-of-province government loans, you are able to write in ACORN, defer your fees for a little bit. I'll go over that more in a bit. Once you get your assessment from the government loan office, it may take a week after receiving that assessment to be able to access the deferral button in ACORN. So you can try again, maybe several times. If you still do not by, I would say, mid-August, please email us. We will send you a fee deferment form, and we can definitely help you defer your fees online. So our email, I don't know if it's been posted yet, is inquire.ischool@utoronto.ca. We can help you with that. Some students will have received a major award, such as OGS or SHRC for master's students. We will be in touch soon about how to defer your fees. You're also able to defer your fees based on this award. We'll be in touch directly by email soon, before August. For the next slide, this is the fee payment timeline. I've mentioned it already, but just a reminder, September 12th is the final deadline before courses are removed. So to avoid that, best to pay or defer by August 22nd, if at all possible. So the payment deadline is on the student accounts payment deadline website. I think if Is doesn't mind posting that in the chat. You'll have to scroll down a little bit, and then you'll see a section that says remaining balance payment deadline. So those are the various deadlines depending on your situation, whether you're paying out of pocket or using government loans. And then there are service charges after those payment deadlines. So when service charges begin for fall term is September 30th. So you'll want to pay by September 30th. Service charges on anything left from the leftover outstanding unpaid from the fall term start October 15th. So there is like a little 2-week cushion, but best to pay by September 30th. For the winter term, please pay by November 30th. And then service charges, again, start 2 weeks after that, December 15th. And then if you're taking out student government loans for the winter term, you'll need to pay by January 31st. and service charges start February 15th. So for the next slide about awards and financial aid, these are the main options that we have. So these are the ways to support your education. There's, if you're a domestic student, there's OSAP for Ontario government student loans. There are other out of province ones. This is the main basis of financial assistance. There is what's called the Professional Master's Financial Aid, PMFA for short. This is to help bridge a gap, about 30% of what's assessed by government loans as the unmet need. This is to bridge the gap, unlike research stream master's degrees that have funding. Our master's degree is not funded per se, right? So those who receive OSAP or government loans are automatically eligible to receive this PMFA. We will receive information from the central OSAP and out of province loan office. So usually this is late October, early November. People who do not get government loans can also apply using what's called the Need Navigator. That's accessed through the central enrollment services website. We also have many in-course awards for current students. We have an internal scholarship application that centralizes the various internal awards into one application. These are merit-based and competitive. So if they ask for a statement and it is applicable to your situation and interests, please fill this out. We will send the link later in the summer. If there are extracurriculars and interests that help us consider who's eligible for which awards, please include that information as well in the statement. There are many, many SGS and U of T awards. We always send out notifications and we'll also send out reminders in what is our weekly newsletter. So please keep a lookout for these. There are also other national and provincial awards, like I mentioned, the Ontario Graduate Scholarship, SSHRC for Masters, which is called CGSM. These are major research awards given out by research agencies in Canada. For SSHRC or NSERC for master's students, this deadline is usually December 1st. It's quite early, so you'll be having to manage those, start writing your plan of study now if there's a lull in your summer. This is a great award. It's been raised to $27,000. It is for domestic students only, still at this time, and it is research-based. So if you are awarded this, you will need to do a thesis. For OGS, the Ontario Graduate Scholarship, you do not need to do a thesis, and it is open for international students as well. This is $15,000. And this is 1 year only. Both are 1 year only, just to clarify. This deadline is a bit later, so March 1st. So there are workshops both held by both SGS and us, so please look out for those calls. There is also the option of work study. Registered students can apply to work study program positions all around campus. This can help with tuition and living expenses and getting work experience. There is a line of credit if you wish to apply for that. You can directly negotiate with your bank. It doesn't have to be Scotiabank. This is just extra funds for you to use. It can be like a helpful emergency fund if needed. We do have our own faculty of information grant that you can find from our financial aid website. You don't need to let things get dire before you apply to that. Just let us know, reach out to one of our advisors, and we'll, we might ask some follow-up questions, but please reach out to us whenever you run into any situations needing financial aid. So I will go through one last thing called the minimum degree fee. Our degree has a program fee. So not to confuse the minimum degree fee with the minimum payment to register, which I mentioned earlier. The minimum degree fee is because our program, people don't pay per courses like you might have done in your undergrad. So it's one program fee. It's basically equivalent to 2 years full-time, which is 4 terms of full-time tuition fees, whether or not it's domestic fees or international fees. So if you are a full-time master's student, usually there's no balance at the end, right? If you take 2 years, inclusive of summer term, there are currently no fees for the summer terms. For part-time students, anyone who's been part-time, even for 1 term, the balance of degree fee is quite common because the part-time program is designed for like 6 years. So most part-time students, and designed for 1 course per term, and most people who are in part-time status will often take at times more than 1 course per term, max 2 courses per term. So the most part-time students will have a little balance if they take maybe 4 or 5 years. If you finish in 3 years, that will be a bigger balance because you're finishing a lot faster, right? But you need to match the minimum degree fee. The balance of degree fee is calculated prior to the very end of your degree completion. So it is the difference between the 4 terms of full-time program fees minus all the program fees you paid prior to graduation. Campus fees is not considered part of the minimum degree fee. Yeah. So sometimes people do switch because this is a professional program. Sometimes people get new jobs, and life happens. So people do sometimes switch between full-time and part-time. Reach out to one of your advisors and we can tell you the implications of that. And I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Esmeralda Prifty. I'm the manager for the co-op, careers, and work integrated learning here at the Faculty Information. I know at this point in time you have absorbed so much information. However, for the work integrated learning part, we'll be a little bit brief today, but more information to come in the upcoming months. Next slide, please. At the Faculty Information, we really want that all services to have the career services support that they are looking for and customized by each student. So at the faculty, once you join the first year, either in Master of Museum Studies or in Master of Information or in CDP, you all are going to be assigned a career advisor. So this is not related to any work integrated learning components that we'll talk in a moment, but even though you are a part-time student, you don't have intention to do a co-op or an internship, you still have a career advisor, which you can reach out and ask questions in terms of your questions you have about careers in information field. So as of mid-August, you can connect and book an appointment with an advisor and discuss with them about resume and cover letter, which are the fundamental documents you use when you look for a job search. Job search strategies that you may have used in the past, you want to enhance your skills in that field as well, or general career conversations. joining a new program, it always comes with different career paths that will open your doors, and you can have those conversations with career advisors. We do understand at the beginning, the fall is quite busy, and in terms of information, digestion. So career services team will be there, and this service will be provided for the 2 years and 2 years beyond your graduation. So if for all general inquiries about careers, you can connect our team at any point in time that you feel ready. As relates to work integrated learning components attached to the different programs you have joined us, the main ones are Master Information Co-op. There are so many questions coming forward. And thank you, Andrea and the team, for responding to some of them. We have for Master Information, the MI Practicum, and for Master of Museum Studies, the MMSt internship. The Master Information Co-op is the biggest program we have in terms of work integrated learning. It involves more of information that needs to be from the get-go for students. 2 years goes very fast, and we want to set you up for success from the beginning. Because of the nuances of the information that you need to have about the MI Co-op, we are offering an orientation session on August the 20th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. I'm sure that not everyone will be able to join the information session, but we'll be recording it. The information about the link, how to join us, will be shared through the month of July through our student advising team. During this information session, we'll share information about the co-op eligibility requirements, international students' work permits, and co-op prerequisites and timelines. Something I want to emphasize about the co-op information that is on the website, we are enhancing the program and doing some slight modifications. So not all the information that is on the website will be appropriate. It was appropriate for 24-25, but for 25-26 that you'll be joining, there will be some slight changes. Not big changes, but very, very slight changes that we are going to inform you and bring to your attention during the co-op session. One thing that you asked already and Andrea responded is because if you register for the co-op course 3901 through the registration process, when it opens, it will not allow you to register for other courses. So to avoid this issue, we're doing a bit of extra work, and there is a form that will be shared with you for all students who want to join co-op. All the MI students are going to receive that form, and those who want to join co-op, they have to complete that form. And after, as Andrea mentioned, late August, early September, you will manually be enrolled into the 3901 co-op course. Okay, so wait for communication that is coming your way through the month of July, early August, where you'll find that link, and that will be shared with you, and you can complete, and moving forward from there, you'll be enrolled in the course. I have made sure to adjust our timeline, so we won't start any activities related to the co-op course once you all are enrolled in the course. The Master Information program this year has a slight change with the co-op fees as well. Usually we don't post the fees because these are more of ancillary fees that students pay for co-op. One thing I want to emphasize, co-op is optional. Okay, so if you see these co-op fees listed here, it's only for students who choose to do the Master Information, the co-op option. The slight change that I just mentioned before, which is not in the website yet, we are extending the 3901 course from a fall course to a fall and winter course. We just want to have for you enough time to prep for your first co-op if you move forward in the summer of the first year. And the co-op course itself, it's not so much theoretical, but it's very interactive. So our careers team is working intensely through the summer to build activities around preparing you to look for your first co-op term. And that schedule will be shared shortly when you join the course. So the reason why we extend it to 2 terms is to allow you time to get involved with the information, not just get the information, but to look in depth and practice the knowledge that you will be sharing with you. So the co-op fee for the 3901 is going to be $480, and that's for all students who enroll in the co-op. As we move forward, as I said, co-op is optional. Not all students who will choose at the point in time that they want to do co-op may pursue that pathway. So for those who pursue it, there will be a first co-op work term fee of $760, and the second one if you do a 8 months co-op. So for the 4-month co-op is $760, and for the second, if you do an 8-month co-op, will be $760. So if you only do one co-op, then that fee will be attached only to the 4 months first co-op term. So these fees are not like all at once, but depends on how you progress through your choices for the co-op course. I can give you a little bit of insight in terms of questions that we get from students. In general, students all have a desire to co-op in the fall. However, as they join the program, they may change to do thesis, as some of you mentioned. You may choose to take more courses because you want to that one credit that co-op takes away from you. You want to have courses instead. So your preferences may change through the program. So not all students who sign up for co-op will complete a co-op term, but that's again optional to you. We're giving the flexibility for you to choose as you absorb the information along the way.
Great, thanks, Esmeralda. I just have a few other slides. So just some more information. I saw something in the Q&A, someone asking about other opportunities to connect with other students and with the program. So we'll be having some pre-orientation events online from August 18th to the 29th. So look out for a schedule that we will share about that. And then there will be orientation events and sessions from September 2nd to the 12th in person. So I know a lot of this is look out for more information, but we will absolutely send you everything you need for getting started with our program. Just other orientation resources. I know that Andrea already talked about accessibility services and a little bit about getting registered with them, but you can also be aware of their 2025 information session and orientation schedule. So August 18th and 19th is a 2-day orientation for undergraduate and graduate students. Then there are also disability-specific workshops and sessions. So those might be helpful for some students who may not be registered but are wondering about registering. The Center for International Experience has an event calendar that can be found on their website. And there's a lot of online events happening throughout the summer and then in-person events in the fall, things like study permits, entry documents, UHIP, an overview of health services, things like that. So there's other as Andrea said to you, you have access to everything at the university and everything at the faculty. So there's other orientation resources that you may want to look into based on your own personal situation or your lived experience. The other thing we also just wanted to let you know, sorry, we've had some technical difficulties with sending out the links. So I know we kept mentioning links in the chat and you were probably thinking, what chat? We have no access to the chat. So hopefully you've been seeing some of the links that has been posting, and thanks so much, but we'll also be sending you a comprehensive list of the links that we have referenced and spoken about today, and also this PowerPoint and a recording of it as well. So you'll have all of this information. So if you feel like, oh, what happened 5 slides ago, I wish I'd written that down, or I wish I had the link, not to worry. We will make sure that all the relevant links will be sent to registrants. And also if folks need to sign off because maybe they're done their lunch hour and can't stay for the Q&A, not to worry. You please don't hesitate to attend a drop-in advising session or also check the recording after the fact in case maybe one of your questions got answered. So not to worry if you do have to head out. But just, I think Christine had mentioned, If you have other questions, you can also email inquire.ischool@utoronto.ca. We also have an incredible Instagram account, studentservices.ischool, and you'll be able to see some of the exciting things going on at Student Services now and in preparation for the fall. And so now we're going to open it up to any questions that you may have, anything that either was maybe lost in the Q&A or any other questions that are coming up for you. And we will see what we can answer out loud for anybody. Any questions or any of the other panelists that you think we should reference out loud or address out loud?
So first, I think I want to make sure that have we given our attendees the opportunity to be able to speak if they want to? Are they all unmuted and can raise their hands?
Just 1 second.
And we can, I think, stop probably recording. So there are some thesis questions for students, and how soon